Ep.1. Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. We're going to try out something new for everybody here. Ashley, who's sitting right next to me, is our new employee. She started right after July 4th. I'll let her tell you about herself and what we want to accomplish.
Great, thanks Brad. I'm excited to be here and be on this channel, but a little bit about myself. I recently graduated from the University of Maryland with a marketing degree from the business school and the honors college there. About 2 months ago, I started my first job out of college at Sherman as a marketing coordinator. And so that's been really awesome. For the last 6 weeks, I've been training in finance. And what I've noticed is that even though I took a few courses in finance during my time at school, I really didn't learn about the true meaning of money. And now that I'm getting a paycheck and I'm starting my first job, really what to do with that money and how to set myself up. So we thought it'd be a good idea to come on here and for me to ask Brad a few questions as tips for any of you out there who might be in my same position, starting your first job. So we'll jump right into it with my first question. So how do I establish good credit score?
Great. So we've talked about a lot on the blog. So check it out on our site, Sherman Wealth, for other tips. But as you know, we've said that credit is the number one thing that either hurts or helps young folks, whether you've had a roommate in school that didn't pay the Verizon bill, but you're the co-signer on. So as you are moving out or terminating leases or breaking up of roommate situations, make sure that all the bills are first and foremost paid. That if you did co-sign on anything, even something as simple as the cable bill or the electric bill, that will follow you forever. So square up everything with your roommates before you guys kind of move apart and go about your way. So that's the number one thing. But also we want to establish what are called trade lines, which means that if you have no credit, you want to establish credit, because in the mind of the credit bureaus, you rarely exist outside of potential student loan or other things. So we think that it's easiest to just apply for a credit card somewhere where you'd shop normally, whether that's Best Buy, Target, Home Depot, anything that you might be furnishing for your new apartment. Make sure to put that on credit for a few reasons. One, to establish those trade lines that we were talking about. Also to build a trade history, it's called, trade line history. And then if you are in a situation where you can't pay the bill in full on time, which is the most ideal situation, make sure that you're paying at least the minimum so you're not getting what's called a 30-day late. We've talked about credit and why it's important, but it helps you get lower interest rates on a home mortgage if you ever wanted to do that in the future, car notes. If you do have student loan debt, potential to get a lower rate there. So it really helps. And even if you're going to rent an apartment, they're going to look at your credit report to make sure that you're credit worthy and that you're not going to skip out on your rent. So remember that credit is the lifeblood of your future, and to protect that really, really carefully.
Okay, great, thank you. So my next question is, so now I'm getting a paycheck regularly and I don't have much experience with this prior, so like what should I be doing with that money that's coming in every month, and should I be investing it, should I be saving it? So if you have any tips there.
Sure. So we want to establish what are called wants versus needs, and what it is that you want to do with the money. In times of COVID, you're living at home right now, so you might have plans in the next few months to rent an apartment or do other things if we're open back up and you want to go on a trip or buy something. So we want to establish what the wants versus needs are. Young folks now that are limited in these types of things have a really good ability to save. We've talked about a lot that the earlier you get started, the less it actually takes per month due to compound interest and other things. So for those of you that are getting started, you want to build a diversified portfolio of stocks and bonds, which we can talk about, and we have a risk tolerance questionnaire on our website to better align the values of the portfolio with what it is that you want to do. So let us know if we can help there. But also it's taking stock of where all your money is. I know you had mentioned that you were with a bigger bank that's paying you little to nothing on your interest. We're using websites like maxmyinterest.com, and then other internet banks that are FDIC insured like Ally Bank or Marcus or Capital One 360. So the avenue itself doesn't matter, but while there's still yield to be made, again, Federal Reserve moves do affect savers and their ability to earn interest in a risk-free way, but it's about 0.6 to 0.8% depending on where it is. So if you're at 0 or less than 0.1%, you want to move that out of there, and then keep as little as you need to function for regular recurring bills in your checking account, and then maximize that savings bucket. And then once you feel like you have enough within that savings account, then we can look at other opportunities such as contributing to your company 401k, opening up a Roth IRA depending on your income limits and what other things that you're doing. So we want to fill up the different buckets the best that we can so you have a diversified approach to your future.
Okay, great, awesome. And so I guess my last question is, it's never too early to save, right?
Right, of course. Like we said, we want to make sure that we're identifying kind of the wants versus needs. A lot of people are utilizing the stock market as a DraftKings or a gambling opportunity, which is okay for a percent of the assets, but we have seen the data of saving disciplined, automating your finances is really important. As a young person, you can have months go by without kind of looking at this stuff. So we're big fans of not only the bucket strategy that we just talked about, but also automating the finances so that it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. You're not going to necessarily miss that money going into savings or your retirement or to the other taxable stock accounts that you'd want to invest in. And no, it's never too early to save. And as we mentioned a few minutes ago, really good way for young people to get started is to save early. It helps alleviate a lot of that heavy burden in your 30s and 40s, given if you've had a really good head start in your 20s.
Great. Well, thank you for answering those questions, and we'll be sure to be back next week or sometime soon and answer more of these questions.
Great. And we'll link to the show notes, the limits for the IRS contribute to a Roth and some other things. And have a great day. Thanks for watching.